champions,
Marcus Beasley, nearly 20 years after he won his first Open Cup title with the Chicago Fire, does it again with the Houston Dynamo. 3-0 winners here at BBVA Compass Stadium. A goal just 4 minutes in from Mauro Manotas. He would get another in the first half, and Austin Trusty, of course, would have a tough moment. The 20-year-old center back putting in his own net for the third time in 5 years. The Philadelphia Union tastes disappointment in an Open Cup final. Welcome to ExtraTime Live, driven by Continental. I am Andrew Wiebe. With me, Kalen Carr, and our compadre on the ground, roaming around here somewhere with a camera, is David Goss. He has a champagne shower in his future, and he has already got interviews with Wilmer Cabrera, Chris Canetti, DeMarcus Beasley, and others. Stay tuned for those and all the reaction. Kalen, you played here for 3 years, some of the most formative years of your life. What does it feel like to see this team win their first Open Cup in their home stadium in dominating fashion?
It's incredible. I mean, the party started early because I don't think people were expecting necessarily the Dynamo to come out with such a hot start, because Philadelphia Union were the hotter team coming into the match with all the momentum. But this Houston team showed up ready to go from the first whistle. Manotas with the goal early. And this is not a team you want to start chasing because they have some weapons going forward. And that was the story. So to look around and to see all these familiar faces, people that I played here for so long, and to see this stadium, I played on opening day here, getting a chance to host the final. We should have done that. We always had to go to LA, so to see them get the end of this project has been fantastic for Wilmer Cabrera.
We couldn't go anywhere without somebody grabbing Kalen. In the end, these orange-clad fans get what they want. The battalion is right in front of me. They are still playing. Trumpets, trombones, the brass section rolling. Meanwhile, the trophy's making its rounds around this field. Mauro goal, 2 goals, 6 in this tournament. He is the Golden Boot winner for the 2018 U.S. Open Cup, and he is easily the MVP of this game. I don't want to give you too much credit, but I got to do it. In the pregame show, only one of the 3 of us said he was going to be the key. What did you see pregame? What did you see in this game from Mauro?
Well, play the hot hand, and he had 4 going into this one, 14 on the season. Now this makes 20 in all competitions. I think that's up there for the best in a single season for Houston Dynamo records, up there with the likes of Brian Ching, some big names that have played here. And this is a project that's been working for a long time for him. Manotas is a guy that, even back to the Owen Coyle days, was a guy the fans saw in the Open Cup and saw his talent, his ability. Well, it's come to fruition, especially this season. He can score with both feet. He puts all of his shots on target, even his misses are generally on frame. And he can score in different ways. With his head, he got down on his knees to finish the first one. So he's been the center point. He doesn't really have much interest going to the corners. He leaves those to Kyoto and Elise, and just wants to stay in the box and be a poacher. When he finishes like today, this is a totally different Dynamo team. 2
assists for Albert Elise on the night, but I said it, DeMarcus Beasley wins his 3rd U.S. Open Cup title. The first came almost 20 years ago. Our own David Goss caught up with DeMarcus earlier to talk about what it means.
DeMarcus Beasley, 3rd time U.S. Open Cup champion. How does this one feel?
Man, this is special. This one is special. You know, to win it at such an old age. You know, when obviously my career is winding down. You know, this is something that I'll never forget. You know, the players, the coaches put so much effort into trying to win this cup. You know, for ourselves, and it's even sweeter because of the season that we've been having. So, like I said before, this doesn't save our season, but at the same time, like I said, it feels damn good to win this cup, to be champions. I'm glad everyone can feel how this feels, you know. And throughout their career, I want them to keep this feeling and know what it takes, know how it feels to be champions, because that's what we are today, champions.
How does it make your decision to come here? How do you reflect on that now in this moment?
Oh man, I was always happy to be here. Win or lose, I'm happy to be a part of the Dynamo family. They've always treated me with the utmost respect, from the top down, from the Gabriel to Chris, to Matt, to the coaching staff. I've loved my time here. So there's nothing. Even if we would have lost this game, I would have said the same thing. I love my time in Houston, and I'm enjoying it.
You mentioned the age. It's been almost 20 years since you've won this competition. What was the difference in the competition like this time around?
I mean, it was, to be honest, it's the same. You know, that's Cup finals. It's Cup finals. I mean, you look back at our Chicago teams were the main team, and we barely won those games. 1-0, I think 2-0 the first one. And this game, we're underdogs, so it's different. You know, Chicago, we're the big dogs, and now we're the underdog. You look at the teams, that we played to get here. Kansas City, top of the West. LAFC, top of the West. Philadelphia Union, top of the East. I mean, we're underdogs every game, and we still came out on top. So I gave our team so much credit, so much work they put in. The boys, the young boys, everybody, from the staff to the coaches, the owner, the fans, everyone deserves it.
You mentioned that feeling. You guided them this way as a veteran. Did you guide them into the celebrations? Did you teach them how to party?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they know how to party. They know how. I'm old now, so I got to get my cane out, I think, to party with the young boys. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. But now, everybody's a good time, Most everybody speaks English when it comes to water. Now, Mauro! Yeah, baby. Lindo, papá. Soy el mejor, papá. Soy el mejor. Ha sido un placer, un crack, papá. Gracias. Lo quiero mucho, papá.
What did Mauro say to you?
No, he just said, congratulations, old man, viejo. Yeah, they know how much this means to me, They said, he just said, congratulations, viejo. We did this for you, because they know, when you get old, you don't have these chances, and obviously, like I said, my career's winding down, so every day before, after that game against Orlando, I was in the ear, we got all the things that we said, and I keep that between us, but all the things I said to motivate, to get them ready for the final, just to relax, be calm, not get all, enjoy the moment though, but be calm, play football. It's a game of football. That's it. It's a game of soccer, one game, one night, and we did that tonight. And I think from the start to the finish, Philadelphia came in the second half and they put a lot of pressure on us, but our defense, stayed strong. And like I said, we got the win 3-0, and that's all that matters.
One of the greatest careers in U.S. soccer history. Another accolade. Congratulations.
Wow, what an interview with DeMarcus Beasley, getting showered. It means a lot to him. He won this almost 20 years ago. Joe, tell me about this game. Tell me about this run. DeMarcus said you guys were underdogs throughout. It didn't matter. Got the dubs.
For sure. I think we were underdogs for pretty much every game. I think we have a lot of doubters in this country. And in our locker room, we know what we have and we know what we're capable of. And today was just a culmination of a lot of hard work.
I love hearing that. A Dynamo player saying there was a lot of doubters in this country. Philippe came out earlier in the match. Talk about the adjustments you guys made there and how it helped you keep a clean sheet in this one.
I think having Philippe in the starting lineup does a lot for us. It gives us a lot of confidence. He's a guy who talks a lot, is great with organization, and once he got injured, Kevin was called upon, and Kevin's a great player. He's stepped up for us when he has to, and he's played some great games recently. And honestly, we didn't have to make any adjustments. It was just kind of like for like, and it worked out well for us.
The adjustments that the Philly had to make really changed this game, because you get a goal 4 minutes in, and all of a sudden, this team with Elise, with Kyoto, with Mauro, with Tomas Martinez, you can sit in, defend, and then hit them when it hurts. That was the game plan. Why did it work so well tonight?
It was determination, I think, on our part. When we want to be, we can be, one of the best teams in this league, I think. We can be one of the most dangerous teams in this league, for sure. I think at times, we pick and choose our moments to go, and we made some good decisions tonight. Mauro was on fire, as he usually is in this tournament, and it worked out well for us.
6 goals, 20 in all comps. Sometimes I think, Mauro, you should have 25, because I just look at some of the ones he misses. But in this game, that second goal in particular, somebody's step. If you're not he's gonna put it out the post.
Exactly. I mean, I see him do that every day in training. So when he gets the ball around the top of the 18, it's to the point where we almost expect it to go in.
Party? Is that what's next? DeMarcus said he's an old guy, but the young guys are gonna lead the way. Are you leading the way?
I don't know. We'll see.
Goalkeepers always lead the way. You can tell him, Joe. Let's be honest.
We'll see. I don't know. We got a game Saturday, too, we got to think about, but we'll definitely enjoy it tonight.
All right. Congratulations, Joe. Go have fun, man. Go have fun. First ever Open Cup title for the Houston Dynamo. 3-0 winners against the Philadelphia Union here at BBVA Compass Stadium. It's been since 2007 since this team lifted a trophy. On the flip side, the Union have to feel snake bit in this competition. 3 losses in the Open Cup final in 5 seasons. The other 2, a little bit easier to stomach, though they were at home. You had extra time, Obafemi Martins. You had PKs. I know that hurts. But in this game, it was Dynamo from the very start. How do you think that visiting locker room feels?
And win. And all signs pointed towards them being able to do that, showing their road form this season, just going on the road to Seattle Sounders, getting 3 points. Then resting players and still getting 3 points against a tough Sporting Kansas City side. They made all the right adjustments. He tried to make some moves, but when you...
Time, though, the man who built this team, GM Matt Jordan caught up with David Goss earlier in the night.
Matt Jordan, Vice President, General Manager of this team. What does this moment mean?
Oh, it means so much. It means so much. These guys have put so much into it, the coaching staff, the support staff, all the players, and it was all of our players. You know, this tournament, we went through it all, you know, and it's just so rewarding to end up the champions. And I'm just so proud for the guys and our ownership group and our president and everybody, and most importantly, the city of Houston.
You have been here for a while with a few head coaches. What has Wilmer Cabrera brought to this unit, to this project?
Listen, you know, it's been a lot of hard work, you know, and we've been through the trenches together, you know, and you know, he's a teacher of the game. You know, that's what he is. He's a teacher of the game, and that's what I think is unique about him. He's done a great job, you know, and again, everybody's working hard together, and that's the key, and I just couldn't be prouder of this group.
One of the guys that stuck out today, both on the field and then when he came off, was Oscar Boniek-Garcia. What does it mean to see a guy like that get the win?
I mean, it means so much. He's dedicated his life to this club. He's played every single position we've ever asked of him besides goalkeeper, and he's a good man. He's even a better man than he is a player, and it means so much for him, and I'm just so proud of him.
What are the Houston Dynamo, after a victory like this, going forward?
Listen, we want to finish the season strong. We owe that to ourselves. Look, we are better than where we are in the standings. That's the bottom line. Everybody on this field knows it. You know, we hit a tough patch this summer, but the key was we stayed steady. We didn't get emotional. We didn't get too high. We didn't get too low. And we stayed steady and we stayed focused. And that's why we're champions today.
And obviously looking forward, but for you, what does CCL mean?
A lot. I mean, the league, you know, it's so important for the league as a whole. I was fortunate enough to participate as a player in that competition with the Impact. And now it means the world to us and to our fans. Look at this. It's amazing.
Enjoy it. Go have fun.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You heard Matt Jordan there. He said this team is better than what they've shown this year, and everyone on the field knows it. I think we know it, and one of the reasons I know it is that they haven't had arguably their MVP from 2017 almost all season long. Juan David Cabezas has played 4 games. He comes back recently, he comes into the starting lineup, and all of a sudden that vaunted midfield of the Union doesn't look so vaunting anymore against this Houston Dynamo team. He was huge.
Massive. His partnership with Boniek-Garcia and Martinez really actually overpowered the Union center midfielder. They never were able to get on different lines or find gaps in between them. And there are certain players on certain teams where if you take them out, things fall apart, right? If one player can make that chemistry not match up. If you go Diego Chara in Portland or different players around the league, like Chad Marshall, I'd count in that list. Once they go out, you see the results start to go. Cabezas is that type of player for this team.
He's a link, he's a pivot, he's the guy that connects that back line to the midfield and the attack. And when you look at their style of play, that's truly, truly important. Back now, maybe too late for the playoffs, but when you talk about this win in 2019, you have to talk about CONCACAF Champions League. All of a sudden, this team has another front to play in, and Matt Jordan's got a task on his hands to get them ready and improve the roster and maybe hold on to some players they need to hold on to in the likes of Romel Kyoto, Albert Elise, and Mauro Manotas. When you look forward for this team to the rest of the season, to 2019, what sort of future do you see?
Well, it'll be a big motivating factor for the team and for Cabrera to be able to tell some of these players that, hey, if you stay here, you can play in the biggest cup competition in this region, in North America. So that'll be a big motivating factor. And I think in some ways when you look at coming back to this stadium, and I look back on the progression of this team and how it went from the Dom Kinnear era and then kind of went searching for a while. Well, Wilmer Cabrera took a big step forward last year in getting this on the right track through that partnership with RGV and through bringing in, frankly, more Latin players. You look at the team that walked up to pick up the trophies, everybody's got a different flag on their back, starting with Boniek-Garcia, who played a big role in bringing in some of these young players from Honduras to be able to get going into this competition. So now to see the culmination of this project for Cabrera and this club is a big moment.
The Boniek twins are running around this field somewhere doing everything in the cutest way possible. But Boniek-Garcia is an interesting case because I think back to even your time, those years going to MLS Cup, with Honduras, he has been a foundation for this team for so long. What does he mean to this franchise?
El Presidente.
Is that what they call him?
He's the president. That's what they call him. He's the godfather, whatever you want to say.
Padrino.
He's a quiet player. You know, a guy, he sat next to me in the locker room. I barely heard a peep of him here and there, but he's a guy everybody loves, lights up a room with his smile. And on the play, his game has evolved from being a guy that could get up and down on the flank, came in as a winger who could score goals. Now he's sort of gone into more of like a Ryan Giggs mode where he's dropped into the middle of midfield midfield. His intelligence has always been there. He's able to facilitate in the game and still put in, if you put on his heat map or whatever Ben Bear and the guys are doing back there, you will see he covers one of the most grounds on the team still, even at this age.
Wilmer Cabrera had faith in his veteran. He had faith in his team. His faith was repaid on this night. The Houston Dynamo, 3-0 winners in the 105th Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup final. David Goss caught up with Wilmer earlier.
Wilmer Cabrera, head coach of the Houston Dynamo. You win the club's first ever U.S. Open Cup. What does it feel like to make history?
It feels good. It feels good, definitely. And it feels rewarding for the job that all the players have made, and the staff. And of course, without the ownership group and the staff, it's impossible. So we want to honor the city. We want to honor the fans. This city, this club knows how to win, and it is important to remember that. So for us, it's an opportunity to bring happiness and pride to the city and show that we continue being competitive. So we would like to continue for more, but this is a big step for all of us.
You guys started out the gates on fire, an early goal. What was your message in the locker room, or who spoke up to get the team ready to go like that?
Well, when you play a final, you don't need to motivate too much. Too much is not good. So you need to just be in discipline and understand that everyone is nervous, anyone is with the high adrenaline. So we needed to be disciplined, organized, but for sure, we needed to play our strengths. And when we had the chances, we needed to be sure that we put those away, and, couldn't be better for us.
Mauro gets the first goal. 20 goals on the season, all-time record for a Houston Dynamo player in one calendar year. What do you make of the progression of this young striker?
He is unbelievable, and hopefully we can keep him, because he has an unbelievable talent, and he's only 22, 23 years old. So he wants more, and he's going to continue growing in his game. But definitely, the three up front, they are really important for us.
Oscar Boniek Garcia in central midfield controlled this game. You took him out. Was it tactical, or was so he could get that ovation to enjoy that moment? Because he's been at this club for a long time, and he gets his first trophy.
Yeah, he was working hard. He's 34 years old, and he, at 75 minutes, he was tired. So I look at him, and it was good to have a fresh guy on the field. So for him, it's exceptional. Win this tournament for him, and also Marcus Beasley. They've been here for another year, so we wanted to reward them with that.
When you look at this club, the project, what you're here to do long term, what do you see going forward for this group?
We just need to be sure that we continue bringing players to give us balance. We're a fun team to play, to watch, because we try to score goals. This year has been a little bit difficult and challenging with the back four, with our defenders. Even today, we have another injury. So, but that's part of the life, part of the learning lessons, and part of what we have to plan for the next year. So we need to be sure that hopefully we can have solidness in the back to bring us that balance that we need.
Congratulations, Wilmer Cabrera.
Thank you very much.
Wilmer Cabrera says you don't need much motivation for a final. We're joined by Juan David Cabezas. We just got done talking about you, Juan David. We said, look, this is the missing piece. 4 games played this year. How does it feel to be back, and not just back, but with a trophy at your feet?
Thank you. I'm really thankful with God, because it has been a really tough season for me. I haven't played many games, but the most important right now is the attitude of the game, the attitude of the team. We really put what we needed to put. The team support me. They join me throughout this season, and unfortunately, it was a long time without play. But I'm really happy, and the team deserved that.
You guys made a deep run in the playoffs last year, and some would say unexpected. Now, a lot of people, it hasn't lived up to your expectations this year. But does some of that unexpectedness or that people don't talk about Houston Dynamo as much motivate you guys through this tournament as well?
Sure. It's not. We haven't been as well as we wanted. Unfortunately, throughout the season in the league, but it was a really good opportunity for us to show our attitude, our character. That unfortunately the things hasn't been good throughout the MLS, but I am proud of the team because we showed very good attitude, very good push, very good all those things that just right now we're celebrating.
What does this trophy mean to you personally? When you look at this, when you lift it, when you share it with your family, what do you think?
I'm gonna think like I haven't played in 6 months. Afterwards, thanks to God, I could play 90 minutes, and that was really an amazing moment in my life. Thank you.
Give us a lift. Show us how it's done. The Open Cup champions, Houston Dynamo, Juan David Cabezas, back in the lineup, successful, helping them win. Davey Arnaud won this back with the Kansas City Wizards in the day. He caught up with David Goss after this game.
David Arnaud, assistant coach for the Houston Dynamo. Let's start with just what went right tonight, because you guys were on fire just from the start.
Yeah, it seemed to go right from the start. We get the goal disallowed at one end, and we turn around and we score right away. We continued pretty well, and Mauro scored a great goal. The second goal is a great goal, and the third one kind of puts it away. It was a great performance by our guys. Hats off to them. They were really good.
For you, you've won as a player, trying to convey to these young players, what was the conversation, what was the focus this week, this morning, right before the game?
Just how much it means, people think when you get to this game, as a player, sometimes even as a coach, you think sometimes we'll be here again if it doesn't work out. But last time I was involved in a final was 2004 in the Open Cup with Kansas City, and I remember thinking then, this is great. Let's do it again next year. It's been 14 years since I've had another chance, so just taking the opportunity and seizing the moment and understanding it might not come around again. You got to take advantage of it.
One of the great moments tonight was Oscar Boniek-Garcia coming off the field, getting the applause. What's it been like to work with him, to watch him work? What does he mean to this club?
Boney is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about him. Seeing him from afar, from so many years playing against him, you always admired how he played. But to get to be around him every single day, see how he conducts himself, see how he carries himself every single day in training, he's a joy. He's an absolute pleasure to be around as a player and as a person, and he's been fantastic this year for us, so I'm really happy for him.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Enjoy.
Davey Arnaud said it. These opportunities do not come around every year, and sometimes your mind can play tricks on you in this game, Kalen. You get there once, and you think another one's coming. We'll have another opportunity. Well, Philly have had 3 opportunities in this competition in the last 5 years. What's happened? How does this affect the club? How does it affect their mindset?
Well, they're going to have to get back up and go quick. And the good thing is when you lose a final at the end of the season, you got a lot of time to sit on it. And for the Dynamo, to be honest, this is the end of their season effectively. I mean, they've got some games left, but their playoff race is done and dusted.
It's run, probably.
Philadelphia Union, if you're Jim Curtin, I'm sure he's telling these guys in the locker room, look, this is behind us now. We've learned some valuable lessons, especially in the back. Some young players got experience in a final, but still get to continue forward. And that's what they have to focus on.
Despair, but there's joy, and David Goss is in the locker room where the champagne is about to be popped. We'll take you there. forecast called for showers tonight. We didn't get much rain, but as you can see, there are showers in the Dynamo locker room. Champagne raining down. David Goss got the plum gig tonight, but we're here to give you some more context. We got to go back to that Union side. Austin Trusty, a guy that I talked to in the lead up to this game, who has such promise, had such a great season so far. He's played every single minute for Jim Curtin in the league, and he's shown that he belongs in this league. A big center back who's held his own. On this night, maybe his worst game of the season. You saw in that third goal, the own goal, so tough for the young man. Head down in the box for a good 15 seconds, and after this game, he looked crushed. These are the moments that a young player may experience but has to come back from, but this is a tough one.
Well, that one will hurt. The own goal will hurt because that was the one that effectively made the game over, and the spotlight's on you. But he had some problems throughout the match that he needs to look at, and we talked about learning lessons from a final. Well, most of the time, I said, it happens at the end of the season and you have a long wait. He's going to be able to sit down and go through film with the coaching staff and be able to try and recover from this. And for a young player, look, he's going to start. He's going to be their guy, not just this year, next year, going forward. So he has the faith of the manager already. He suffers a big loss in a final along with his teammates, but he's going to be potentially a better player for this going into the MLS Cup playoffs because he's had this experience.
Right now, the Union in 5th in the Eastern Conference. It looks pretty certain that they will be in the playoffs in the knockout round somewhere, probably on the road. What is their prognosis for the rest of the season? Obviously, every point they can get is extremely valuable. They got to make the playoffs first, and we've seen teams crash and burn. They'd like to have a home game. It might not happen. This is a club that's trying to take that next step. That next step for them was winning a trophy. The next opportunity to take that probably comes in the playoffs. What do you see going forward for this team? How does this game change the way that you think about them?
Well, this team runs on confidence when I watch them play. When they're confident and playing well, they can do pretty incredible things. That goes with their strikers. When CJ's confident, when Burke is confident, when Fafa's feeling it, that's when they create problems. When the confidence tends to sink a little bit, that's when they have problems. So they need to find some footing, get their confidence back up leading into the playoffs, because the playoffs can come quick, and just when you think there was so much promise in this season, they had everything going for them, Open Cup, say goodbye. It could be one and done in the playoffs too, and then next thing you know, you're looking back and saying, what did this season mean for the Union? So some big questions still ahead of them, but I've seen this team respond from tough times. 4-1 down against Montreal at home. They go on the road, win the next two. So we've seen them come back from this, so it is a tough team, and I think they will be able to recover.
Andrew Wenger spent a couple years in Philly. He's now with the Dynamo in that locker room celebrating. He was a part of a couple losses in the Open Cup final. This time around, he gets the championship. He gets the winner's medal. David Goss caught up with Andrew Wenger earlier tonight.
On fire to start this game. What is this team?
Up and down, and that's something we got to figure out. I mean, we played some of the best teams this year, and we played them well. Other times this year we haven't been there. So over the course of the year, we got to figure it out. This is great, but our goal was to make the playoffs, and it still is. So we'll see what happens.
And for a young team, you, DeMarcus, guys like that, trying to guide them along. What was it like to see Manotas get those early goals and at least play like this in the final?
Listen, those guys are amazing. They're fantastic. They're big-time players. We just need them to do it more often. But tonight, big-time players step up in big games, and they did it.
And what can you say about this atmosphere?
This is great. I mean, it's great for the city. El Batallion's been here all night, being loud. Sons of Ben are here. Like, they've always been great. They've been great to me, so it's just been a fun environment.
Congratulations. Enjoy.
Now, Andrew Wenger, of course, speaking of the fans, when you talk about atmosphere, we looked forward to this game, but we didn't really know what to expect from BBVA Compass Stadium, from this fan base. Yeah, some people on Twitter, as Jim Curtin might call them, snarky superheroes, had some things to say, but tonight, this felt like a final to me. I know not every seat was full, but there was an energy, there was an urgency, there was a desire, there was a group of fans here that wanted to see one thing and they got to see it. You've experienced this fan base before. You got to experience it tonight. What did you make of the way this game felt?
Houston loves winners. They want to win, and they got spoiled early, 2006.
Which is why everybody wants to come talk to Kalen Carr.
Brian Ching, 4 goals in the first game, 2 championships, Di Rosario, Stuart Holden, Wade Barrett, Eddie Robinson, all these guys that are legends here. And then it was we opened the brand new stadium. We went on 30-game unbeaten road to open up this stadium. So we never lost here. Of course people are going to keep showing up. Then the club falls on hard times, searching for identity. Wilmer's got that back going again. So to see this happen again only proves to me what I already knew, is that Houston wants to get behind a winning product. They're putting that on the field now. Now, is that translating in MLS this year? It's not yet. It's not yet. But it did last year, and they exceeded expectations on a budget that's low down in MLS. So to be able to get trophies now and be able to prove to fans here that, hey, this is still a winning product and something you need to get behind, I think this goes a long way.
A marquee night. You'll see that on the sports pages tomorrow. Of course, the internet is aflame. Thank you so much for being with us right now. Extra Time Live, driven by Continental. All the coverage from the U.S. Open Cup final. We're out on the field. There's no noise here, but David Goss is doing his thing in the locker room. He just talked to Memo Rodriguez about what this win means to Houston.
Memo is a homegrown, a local. How does this experience feel?
It's amazing in front of our hometown fans, in front of my family that came. It's just an amazing experience for me. Being my first title as a professional soccer player, and it's amazing for this club and the organization that we got this win.
You've worked under Wilmer Cabrera now in the academy, USL, now in MLS. What's it like? What's he like for this club?
Yeah, I think going down to RGV, he hasn't changed a bit. He demands everything from his players, and his players, we respond on the field. If you start, you don't start, everybody's ready whenever they go in.
Do you remember MLS Cups in 06 and 07?
I do remember watching the 06 one. Not the 05 too much, but it's great. We have the feeling to bring the cup to Houston. We're going to finish the season strong.
How good does victory champagne taste?
It's great, and Andrew knows it tastes good as well.
Who's the best dancer on the team?
Oh, I haven't seen anybody dance. I'm not sure. I think it's Young Mogul. Young Mogul, everybody calls me.
Young Mogul? What's Young Mogul?
I don't know. Let's go!
All right, Memo Rodriguez enjoying his time in the locker room. The man that helped build this is Chris Canetti, the president of the Houston Dynamo. David caught up with him earlier tonight.
Chris Canetti, president of the Houston Dynamo. You've been here for a while. What does this moment mean?
This means a lot to the club. This is the 13th season of the Dynamo. It's the 5th time we've played for a trophy. First time we've ever played for the U.S. Open Cup trophy, and it's the first time we've ever been able to host a championship game here in Houston. So we haven't had the best of seasons either in regular season play. That kind of went sideways for us a few months ago. But it's great for our fans and for our community and for our players to be able to lift this trophy tonight.
The atmosphere tonight was incredible. It's what you want for a championship. What can this do for the club?
This is going to lift us, there's no doubt. Like I said, we were having a good season and we kind of hit the skids a little bit there in August and September, and hopefully this restores some faith in the fan base. We know we've got a good team, we know we've got good players. I think they proved it tonight with the quality that they showed against a very good Philadelphia side who I think is going to do good things the rest of the way. So this is big for the club tonight, historic night for us, and very happy right now.
And for Wilmer Cabrera, what has he brought to this club to make this moment happen?
I think this means a lot to Wilmer. This is his second season as the head coach. He brought us to the conference finals last year after the team was not in the playoffs the year before, and now we've got a U.S. Open Cup trophy in the second year. So we still got some work to do to get better. Wilmer will tell you that himself, but I'm happy for Wilmer and the coaching staff. They this and worked hard for it. So really good night.
Don't focus on the work and enjoy the night.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh boy, look who we got, David Goss. Are you wet? Do you smell a little bit?
Champagne.
What's it like in there, man?
Oh man, it's a party. It's fun. They're enjoying it as they should, and you can just see for everyone there's like a huge relief and a great moment for Wilmer Cabrera, for Matt Jordan, for Chris Canetti, but also for like all these players. Elise and Kyoto are live streaming the entire thing. They've got the music going.
They're competing with ours.
Yeah.
What?
DeMarcus Beasley got the giant bottle of champagne that he got to pop for everyone, and they had Manotas bring the trophy in and be the one to raise it and celebrate with it. So everyone seems excited, understanding that, yeah, it's been a tough season, but this moment is something for them. It is something really meaningful. It was funny talking to Andrew Wenger, who just, he's been on the other side so many times, he almost was ready to give the losing interview. And then at the end, after we got off, I was going to out him and be like, dude, just cut that up, because that was not very good. But then he helped me with the Memo Rodriguez interview, so it trades off.
We've given all of our thoughts on this game. We've exhausted our collective brains here. You've got to experience the locker room, the joy side of this. Of course, we saw the Philadelphia Union and the despair side, and watching them on the field, it's never a good feeling to see a team lose. What do you take away from this match, this victory, but also this defeat for the Union?
Well, it's, you know, for a team like Houston who isn't really contending for MLS Cup, we're not around them as much. So to see the culture and the heart there and just see how everyone interacts with DeMarcus Beasley and how they feel about him and how this whole team is like a unit and has come together. But, you know, we're not seeing it every week in the season. That's the big thing. And then I think the other part is everyone's saying this is how good we are. And, like, we just haven't done it week to week. We don't do it game to game. I didn't ask them. It just unsolicited. Beasley brought it up and Wilmer brought it up of this is who we are. Like, this is what we're capable of. We score goals. We just have had issues this year and it hasn't gone the way we wanted. But I think they're proud of what they've done.
But that's my biggest takeaway from being here and experiencing it and seeing just there's that spirit of defiance. And because I know what it's like to be here and be like, oh, Andrew Wiebe only shows up when it's a cup final, you know? Oh,
this happened.
We're playing Sporting Kansas City Eastern Conference final. Oh, Wiebe and Simon Borg are here.
Yeah.
So there's that spirit in the Dynamo that helps fuel them forward, I think. And even though so much has changed, and this is a big step, is to kind of putting some of the ghosts behind them of these sort of legends and creating new ones where DeMarcus Beasley is now a club legend and Boniek Garcia is a club legend. But that spirit within the team is still the same on the teams that I played on and the ones before. And that's been the biggest positive for me.
And the other thing that I take away from this, I'm going to take this.
Go for it, man.
The other thing I take away, though, is we've talked a lot about young teams and who's ready and who's going to be ready in big moments. And DeMarcus Beasley, the first thing he said was, I tried to keep them low. All week, I tried to keep them calm, keep them ready. I talked to Otto Alvarez about it. Boniek Garcia's with all the young guys all the time. I think that veteran leadership has helped them. And I think when you talk about putting, you know, ghosts beyond and new legends, Boniek Garcia was the guy who bridged the gap from your finals where you know, you felt like you were ready to win, but you have the experience. None of these kids have it. None of the younger players have it or the new guys to MLS. So it's been really special to watch Boniek Garcia be that today and watch the fans just absolutely love him when he went off the field, taking selfies. His kids are running around, tearing the field apart. That's the future, but it was really fun to watch that connection between Houston Dynamo's successful past and now what they hope will be the future.
The first ever Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup title for the Houston Dynamo. Put it up in the rafters with 06 and 07 MLS Cups. They've been to finals since, didn't get it done. It's been a decade. Now they have the joy of lifting a cup on their own field. Thank you so much for joining us here on Extra Time Live, driven by Continental. This is our favorite show of the year. To be around people after they've won something, it gives you goosebumps. It makes you feel it. Yeah, it also makes you smell bad. A night of what could have been for the Philadelphia Union. 3 losses in 5 years, 3 finals. Not a night that they will want to remember, but a night that we thank you for being here with us. All the coverage, MLSsoccer.com. Subscribe to Extra Time Radio, driven by Continental. In the meantime, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next time.